Alright, hello and welcome to League of Loggers. This is episode 23 today, actually. No, surprisingly. Today we are talking about week 6 of the LCS.
We know that too.
Things happened, people won, people lost. I cried a little bit, you know, the usual.
Was your crying, like, related to LCS?
It's always related to LCS. How did I do on my picks this week? Because I didn't actually tally it up. I think it was not great.
I tallied it up and none of us do. You and I went 5-5 and you went 4-6.
I think it was like a 50-week or less. But that brings him down to closer to us.
Yeah, I need to look at the totals. Well, because it was... So, day 1 this week, we all picked the same shit. We haven't talked about it on air in a while. Because day 1 this week, we all picked the same shit. Mm-hmm. All of last week, we all picked the same shit. So it had been 3 days of us all picking the same shit and being boring as fuck.
Yeah.
Now, before that, he had a bad week, and you and I did, like, 5-5 again. Like, we've been 5-5 3 weeks in a row. He did, like, crap week, 5-5, crap week. So, and I think your crap is 4-6, so.
The first week
still not great. 6 out of 10 long is...
It's not as good as it could be. 6 out of 10 long?
It's surprising, though, because we picked these... we picked the teams with such... What's the word? Like, where you're set on something?
Oh, like
decision, I guess?
Yeah, decisiveness.
Yeah, perfect. We picked them with such decisiveness that we're like, yeah, these are who is going to win. And then we get absolutely wrecked.
Oh, maybe Chase was 5-5 the last 3 weeks. Oh, okay. So we all ended up 5-5 this week.
Oh, fuck yeah. Who's the baller?
We were all 5-5 last week. And you and I were 7-3 the week before, and he was only 5-5.
Pump.
So I need to go back through and tally these up because I haven't done that in a hot minute.
I think we're all going to be a little bit even now.
Yeah, you would still be ahead of me a game, I think, at least. But
0.10%, we're good.
Oh, yeah, count it.
Like
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it's out of 60 games.
But I think your point was Sunday we finally...
Yeah, we finally separated.
A little bit.
So it was
I think
nice.
we picked the same thing.
Well, because you and I did, again. Chase separated.
He picked 2 different. One of those worked out for him, though.
And one did not, which is why we all ended up 5-5 again.
I tried to pick... I thought I was going to get fucked on that pick, too.
You know what? Let's go ahead and start off with the game Chase picked differently than us. Okay. That did not work out for him.
Oh.
Because he stood on principle of something he said weeks ago. And what is that principle, Chase?
I will never pick 100 Thieves to win again.
And you're right. You did not pick them. But you were wrong, because they did win. They beat Echo Fox.
Yeah,
pretty handily.
That's not really that much of a ooh. We beat Echo Fox.
You're right. Echo Fox is they are 10, just straight 10. They're 3-9. Now here's the thing though. Since 100 Thieves made their change up, they have won 4 games. All 4 of the they've won 5 games. All 5 of their wins have been the change up. They are 5-7, still tied for 7th. You know, they're a whole game outside of being tied for 5th/6th. Is this 100 Thieves good enough to make playoffs?
Oh, I don't know. It's such a hard...
No.
Their out schedule is Cloud9 FlyQuest, Golden Guardians TSM, Clutch CLG. They have a playoff team and a non-playoff team every week here and now. And actually, technically Golden Guardians is also a playoff team. Them and TSM both. But... other than that, like, they're both, lower down a little bit. But yeah, like, Chase, you say they're not?
I very much think they're not a playoff team. Like,
why is that?
Because the small strides that they've made, they're, like, the other teams are going to be like, okay, we know what we need to correct to get here, and they're just going to get hard shut down the rest of the split, all 3 weeks.
When you say the other teams are going to make corrections, what other teams? Because, I mean, you think... Echo Fox, FlyQuest, like, they're going to make the corrections to not lose to this team? Because they're pretty bad, too, and they seem to not be making the corrections to not lose.
So looking at their out schedule, they've got...
Cloud9, FlyQuest, Golden Guardians, TSM, Clutch, CLG.
I see one pretty easily, one winnable game in there, and then I see 5 games where they get shit on.
Really? I see the opposite, sort of. I see
you
one
see
game
5 games where they could win, and one they get...
I definitely don't see it as only one game they win.
Yeah. I see C9 beating them, and then the other 5 being either way, even against TSM.
FlyQuest looked really good this weekend.
And so did 100 Thieves, though.
No.
So to say they get shit on by FlyQuest is surprising to me.
Yeah. Well, they did win.
FlyQuest has 4 wins, 100 Thieves has 5. Pretty comparable. But, so I think the interesting thing is to look at both these teams' wins. And neither are good.
Mm-hmm.
100 Thieves, like, they have the Fox win twice,
Mhm.
OpTic once, FlyQuest once. OpTic's a decent win,
Mm-hmm.
despite what happened this week. And Cloud9, which is a good win.
Yeah.
FlyQuest has TSM, good win. Fox, OpTic, Golden Guardians. And once again, like, they've got alright wins, like, but also some bad wins in there. Neither of these teams are impressive with their wins at all.
Well, the C9.
Right, but overall.
Oh, okay.
It's
overall.
mostly,
Fair,
it's
fair,
like,
fair.
hey, we mostly beat
Majority.
teams who are bad, or like
Yeah.
going
I
back
don't-
and forth, like Golden Guardians and OpTic.
Yeah.
And then we have a win over a team that's been pretty good.
And I don't think C9's going to let it happen again, is what I'm saying for this coming up week.
I don't believe so either.
Yeah.
But I think like FlyQuest is going to be a close/important game for them.
Mhm.
I think the same goes for Clutch. I think Clutch is the one you're saying that they win then.
Yeah. I mean, even Clutch kind of looked not too terrible this weekend.
Right.
So, I don't know. I just see CLG they're going to lose to CLG, they're going to lose to TSM, they're going to lose to Guardians, and they're going to lose to Cloud9. I see, okay, at best 2 winnable games.
I feel you're more confident in Guardians than you should be in this matchup.
I know.
Me too. Even
To
though
be fair, Guardians,
they did win
while they
against,
have 6 wins,
CLG.
2 of them have been over the course of the last 3 weeks.
Well, I still promise you I will not pick 100 Thieves to win a single game
well, no,
here on out.
I don't expect you to change.
Yeah, no.
I'm just talking about
Yeah.
whether or not we think 100 Thieves can make playoffs. I think they can. I don't think they will.
It's,
Okay.
it's in
I
the
like that.
realm
I
of
can-
possible. I mean, they're not like they're not excluded from.
I'd
their-
be shocked if they don't end 7th, honestly.
Ooh, that's such a kick to the balls, but
Like, because honestly, when you look at like the other teams in the league, and actually we'll get around this eventually, playoff predictions
Mhm.
stuff at the end of the set here. Oh god, Jake, followage? Followage is not a command. What?
what?
And also we don't have a bot that does commands either. Chase, you should make us a bot.
We have a bot that does Matcherino stuff that we don't use anymore.
You should make a normal commands bot.
Uh,
What do you want from followage? What is that getting towards Jake?
from State Farm?
Maybe, I don't know. He hasn't told us.
It's probably
But yeah,
Bliss.
like when you look at the other teams, like you have Fox, FlyQuest, Clutch, who have not overall been good so far.
Mhm.
So if they beat them, you're 7th. Like if you just end up better than them overall, schedule or not schedule. What's the word? Your results, your record, a better record. Great, you're 7th. Like, and I don't think that's difficult. To be fair. I don't know, because we've seen all these teams have like some good stuff at some point. There's no team who's been hot garbage the entire time. Because even Echo Fox, with like their losses and stuff, they've got 3 wins, 2 of them over the top 2 teams in the
Yeah,
fucking
that's
league.
so funny. It is so funny that it works out that way, especially this split.
Yeah, and honestly, I think Solo has just been good all year.
Yeah.
He's not going to get recognition in like an all-star team, like a first, second, third team.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's ridiculous to say he should get a vote or something. Like 1 third-place vote for top lane or something, because the dude's been really good
You
on
say
a
that,
very underperforming team.
But I still hear Solo got soloed so much that it's
Because it's easy to say.
exactly, but it's gonna negate all that
Like-
all that good stuff he's done
Oh.
for the team.
Okay, Echo Fox beat Cloud9 this week,
Yeah.
right? His gangplank.
Mm-hmm.
He died the 3 times because he was getting ganked.
That's true.
And he won the
did
lane by
focus
30
him
CS
hard.
in lane and eventually
Yeah.
was up almost 50.
He's pretty good. I'm not gonna deny that. I
On
don't know if
Gangplank,
he'll
so
get
he
1,
was
2, 3
stupid
though.
ahead in gold.
Even like maybe a couple votes, maybe.
And he did really well in the game against 100 Thieves as well. And granted, I don't
Yeah.
think Fake God's an amazing opponent or anything, but Solo was the one person like trying to be like, okay guys, we could like not lose this on his Aatrox, and then he would be trying too hard and he got caught out because he was
Yeah.
over pushing. Like he's like, I'm pushing my lane because somebody's got to do something, and the rest of Echo Fox is like, we'll sit at tier 2, and it's like, fuck, 3 people collapse, Like, granted, you have to work as a team, and that's the problem there. But I think he's probably the brightest point on that team currently.
Oh,
It's really depressing. Echo Fox is
We're just talking about who's the best on
flopping
their
so
team.
hard right now. Like they had a pretty decent start, I feel like. I
No,
don't know
they
if
beat
should've-
TL
Yeah,
week
no.
1, and then they didn't win until week 4.
5 games
They
later.
ended
Yeah.
the last split on like a high note, but
Yeah.
Yeah. But that was last split.
They won out 4 games,
And
getting
even-
Cloud9 and TL in there.
And that was at the end when, for one, TL didn't care. TL was already centered in. So was, well, maybe not C9 at
Cloud9
that
was
point.
trying
Yeah,
for
C9
first.
at that point. And,
If
their wins came from the
Cloud9
back
beat
end
Echo
where
Fox in that
it didn't
game, they
matter as
took
much for
first.
them.
So it
Yeah.
mattered for Cloud9.
yeah, but it also mattered for Fox to win those games at the end to get in there for that 5th, 6th time
Yeah.
spot.
Yep,
And
they
that's
ended
what I
up in
think,
playoffs.
like,
and-
that's why I think they're probably not as good in right now. Because, I mean, they didn't have even the remotely what they needed to get to the playoff
Right.
spot.
Well, and
beginning
they've
of the split.
swapped their roster around a bit.
Yeah.
They've got Mike Young in now, which will take some time to sync up.
Mhm.
Maybe it'll make the team better, maybe it won't. I don't know. Like, and Phoenix has been like really good at times and really what the fuck at times. One of the commentators said it this week, where it's like you see those reasons that like Echo Fox got rid of him,
Mhm.
and then you see the reasons that they got him back.
That's fun.
Like, because he does that.
Yeah.
He's just like, you see moments where you're like, holy shit, Phoenix, that was
Yeah.
nice. And then you see moments where you're like, holy shit, Phoenix, what was that?
Yeah.
I feel like they're gonna have a rough out to this split too. I mean, they see TL again, TSM,
I see every other
CLG.
game.
Like they've got FlyQuest, OpTic, and Clutch Gaming that could potentially be wins there. But even if they win half of those matches, they're still looking at a pretty poor record for this split.
I mean, it's good that they have FlyQuest and Clutch because those are 2 of the teams they're competing with to not get bottom of the table. When it comes down to it, say Fox wins 1 more game on the way out, they end up with 4 wins, right? Which is kind of what we've generally seen from last place teams. And even if they don't, say they end up with 3 wins, how do we feel about them if they are, and they feel like it right now, the worst team in the LCS? How do we feel about them as that, though, compared to previous worst teams in the LCS?
I don't really
They're
see
they're
too
they're
much.
looking better than 100 Thieves did last split,
Yeah.
but
That's
not by
not
much.
that much.
Like they're looking not very great. Like you said, like
You
they're
think not by much?
they have a couple of moments of brilliance here and there, but like overall, when they just continuously crap everything down their legs, whatever,
Yeah.
they poop themselves. I don't know. They're really disappointing. I've still got my Echo Fox hat at home. I'd like to be able to wear it again
They have
sometime
a
without
great logo.
feeling great amounts of shame.
Such a good logo. I mean, at
And
least we're
stats.
gonna get rid of one of the worst logos in the league soon, so that's good. Too bad 100 Thieves is staying.
Yeah.
Their logo's so bad, so bad.
We're not getting it.
I'm not 12. I don't need like some fucking edgy logo.
Ugh.
Anyway,
What are we moving on to? What was the
so
original?
yeah, no,
the
we
two
just
picks that we were different. That was what we started with, right?
well, I'm hitting a couple
Yeah.
things, and I'm just going with the flow this week because honestly, like
What was the second
as far as
one?
super
Oh.
good storylines go, this is one like if I worked at Riot and like I was doing the dive. Hell of a brainstorming session. You're probably talking player specifics most of the time. We'll
Yeah.
see when the dive comes out, like here in a day or two. See if they talk about a lot of player specific storylines, because that'll go to show. Because I'm looking at
Phoenix.
this and I'm just like, I don't know a whole lot otherwise to talk about.
About Phoenix and Fox, you mean?
Well, yeah, like we'll talk about Phoenix, or I mean, like one of the good storylines is to talk about the teams who are like doing bad and like coming up. But like, there's not a lot of great like overarching storylines from teams right now, so you gotta talk about players.
Okay.
But anyway, let's a team we can talk about though. We hit a little bit on 100 Thieves Climb, whether or not they would make it to playoffs. So we're gonna go past them to a team coming the other way. OpTic. OpTic went 0-2 this week against 100 Thieves and Clutch,
Yeah.
2 teams that were below them a fair amount in the standings. And last week, they had beaten Golden Guardians, but they lost to FlyQuest, another team that is quite below them in the standings. Their last 3 games have been losses to teams that they had several games lead on. Like at least 2 games they were ahead of. All of these teams at the time of playing them, if not more. I think all of them were
just
3
don't
games.
understand what's happening there. Like, I'm okay with them, like, crapping themselves because it means that, like, while they're moving down, the wins that they were giving up were bottom of the barrel teams, and so it's not affecting the Guardians nearly as much as it could. But, on the other hand, it's just, like, they had promise. They were looking really good for a while, and...
It was surprising that they looked that good for me, though.
I mean-
was surprised by
Yeah.
it. And if I'm that surprised, it means I had low expectations.
I think it had to do with Crown not showing up last split also. Crown didn't look great last split.
That's
We
true.
saw them start last split with a different bot lane and a different top laner, and they shifted shit around. And they swapped junglers for a while between Meteos and Dardoch. And this split, they settled on Meteos. They had their lane the whole time, and it looked good, and Crown was showing up. But then now they're losing to bottom of the table, and now they went from, like, over the last 3 games, they went 0-3, Golden Guardians went 2-1, and they're tied now. They are tied for 5th place. Those 2 teams hold the last 2 slots into playoffs currently. And not that Golden Guardians is going upward at the moment, but OpTic has fallen straight past them at this time.
Yeah.
Like, and I mean, you said, Chase, you don't know what's going on. What do they need to do to stop this slide, though?
I don't know. Like, I mean, Meteos hasn't looked as good. Like, I mean, he'll make a couple of smart plays. And
Do you mean just this week or over the last while?
I'd say, like, the last 2 weeks. Like, they definitely seem like there's something going on there. And I don't know what to really point the blame at. Like I was saying, like, Meteos, he's looked good in some games and he's looked piss poor in others, but so has the rest of his team. Mm-hmm. Like, they're kind of, like, winning as a team and losing very much as a team. It's really hard to be like, this person did this, didn't do it well. It was like, they kind of all just looked poor. I was just going to say, because when they were all playing well and they all looked good together, and now they're all just playing poorly together, so...
Yeah, I mean, I can get behind that sentiment, because as much as I'm willing to blame Dokla and Big when they are underperforming, at least this week, I don't feel like I can put it on either of them. There's a team here where I feel like there's a player who fucked up royally in one of their games. Granted, he did good at the beginning, we'll get to that. But it wasn't Dokla and Big. Like, Dokla and Big played fine. Mm-hmm. They didn't play great, they didn't play terribly.
Is it Acadian?
No, it's not. Meteos, he didn't play as well as he normally does. So for him, I feel like he did underperform, but that might be a product of everybody else. Crown, as good as he was early in the split, when they started out 4-0, his last 1-3, he's kind of like faded a bit, and I would have to go back and rewatch a bunch of stuff. Like, if this was my job, I absolutely would go back and analyze it and be like, is it extra pressure on Crown? What's going on here? You know, what are the picks? All that stuff. Because I'm really curious what happened. Because Crown was popping off at the beginning of the split. And I feel like Arrow's shown up at times, and he was okay. Honestly, their game against Clutch, the last game of this week, as they were losing their base, you know, they're at that bottom in hip turret, and there was that final fight. Arrow pumped out so much damage, but it was as everybody else died around him. And, like, there's that final moment where I see him, like, he's on his Sivir, which it's so easy, like, late game Sivir to put out so much damage, but you gotta do it still. And he did, and he, like, shred everybody down. There's 3 people he took down to, like, a quarter fucking health. And he hit his Zonia's as he almost died, and he's waiting. And Meteos is the only person alive with him there, and it's just like, I should have gone and checked the pro view to see if he had cooldown on anything. Like, if he just had the Q to throw out, or the EQ dash it. It's like, do damage. Somebody else other than Arrow, do some damage and people die. And no one else did. So then Arrow died, Meteos was able to escape, get back to the base, and live, but nobody on Clutch died, and they win the game. And it's just like...
He was on the Sejuani that game? That's how he was able to run away?
No, he was on the Jarvan. But it was just like, I don't want to blame Meteos in that game. I don't want to blame Arrow. Like, there's nobody in that game I want to blame. And 100 Thieves, I feel like 100 Thieves just outplayed them as well. Like, both those games, they just got outplayed across the map, which feels weird to say because they've been pretty good overall. And they just kind of weren't this week.
Yeah, I don't want to say anything negative to any other players or anything because I think it was just a better game played by the other team. Both teams. And it's surprising given that it was 100 Thieves and Clutch, but they're all pros too. I mean, they have those bouts of brilliance, and maybe it just happened to be against OpTic because OpTic didn't, like, throw hard like TSM.
Yeah, and like, I mean, their game last week against FlyQuest was Santorin showing up and going ham. Like, and so maybe that is it. Like, it was Santorin doing great, and then you know, and honestly, like, Lyra had one of his better games, and there was small issues everywhere in the game against Clutch. I know pre-episode I was talking to you about when Lyra came in and he stole the dragon. Meteos didn't have smite for like 10 seconds. they went in because they were going to be able to clear it out before Clutch even got there, but they didn't quite clear it out in time. So the moment Lyra came over the wall, Mido's flag and dragged out because he doesn't have Smite. He's not going to get it.
Yeah.
And so he gave it away. And it's just like little things like that kept happening all over the map where they were just, it wasn't quite working out. And so maybe it was. Maybe it was just like they had unlucky performances and the other teams like were on their ball. But I mean, if that's the case, against Echo Fox next week, they have to win.
Yeah.
And against TSM, they have to put up a challenge.
Yeah.
If they get dumpstered by TSM, and if it's close against Echo Fox, I don't know that they can hold on to playoffs.
It's going to be not funny, but it'll be amusing if they don't make playoffs, given the back end of this split.
Yeah.
Like, that's going to suck.
Fun note, if OpTic and Clutch both make playoffs, that will be the last we've ever heard of those teams, because they will be coming back as Immortals and Dignitas, respectively.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm okay with that because I have no dogs in the. I've never had a dog in the OpTic stake. Like, it's all just, wow, they're doing real good. Good for them.
Yeah. I mean, it'll still be the same players. It's just different branding.
Yeah, but I'm kind of hoping that maybe they don't go to playoffs and they come back and they're like, we're gonna do this again.
Yeah.
Let's try again.
And like for me, like Clutch, I just like their whole Texas Steakhouse shit all over them. Like, felt like bad branding. Like I get what they were trying to do, but it's bad branding. And then OpTic, like OpTic's a FPS. It's Halo and COD players.
If they do well in League, we'll be pleasantly surprised.
It's like, but it's just like MOBA fans and FPS fans are not the same video game players, generally speaking. Like, there's crossover,
There's
but when
me
you're
in the middle, but that means that
well, like,
I'm
and I
neither
like
on
both.
side.
Chase likes both.
Yeah.
But like, if you're like talking about watching competitive and following a
Yeah.
team, it's video game players and bros.
Is it?
Right?
I don't know.
I mean,
I like Call of Duty. All right, only the Black Ops series with the zombies.
Yeah.
Like I like
Like,
that.
if you're
But it
watching
doesn't get
Pro
into
League of
hardcore.
Legends, you're more likely to be interested in Boba Tea.
Yeah.
If you're watching Call of Duty pros,
It's
you're like, I want.
Steakhouse.
No, you don't even want Red Bull. You want Balls, because it's named Balls.
I'd rather have Balls as my sponsor. I drink a
I
shitload
forgot
of Red
about
Bull,
that drink
but
until
I do
when I went
love
to Florida.
Balls.
That was so funny.
It's the
Yeah.
only reason I go to Micro Center.
Yeah.
Balls?
It's like you're gonna wear a tap.
Oh, you're
out
actually being
shirt.
serious. The drink.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought we were still in the joke.
Oh.
The drink it was the joke also, but yes.
I didn't know that they sold them at Micro Center.
Mhm.
That's
It's
cool.
the only place that I've seen around here.
Yeah,
that
that's
has
like the
them.
only place you can get it
It's
still.
right by my house, though. I can pick some up for
Yeah.
you if you ever need.
I drive past there every single day to go to work. So
Oh,
Alright, so we're all a bit undecided about OpTic. Let's talk about a specific game that obviously stood out. We talked about it as being probably the game of the week. And fuck did it deliver.
Hold up.
You're going to the page because you know.
Yeah.
It's
TL
called-
versus CLG? Yeah.
No. Cloud9
Oh, yeah.
TSM.
Yeah, we did talk about that, but we
the
didn't
game
mark it
was
It was
Crazy.
a game.
down. A game.
Like, I'm not even going to preface anything. It was a game. Take it away.
Wow.
What do you have to say?
It's literally the only one I wrote a markdown on my paper that said wow.
So TSM had a commanding lead over most of that game, and they looked
Only because
really
I wanna
good.
try you. 'Cause it's the barrier.
And
They
then
looked really what?
They looked really good,
Oh, yes.
and then they didn't.
Yes.
And then they pooped themselves real bad. And Cloud9 was making all of the right plays. They were punishing them on their, like, I think they made like 2 mistakes back to back, and Cloud9 was just, they punished them so hard
That's
that there
good.
was
Good
nothing
point.
that they could do.
Thank you.
It was crazy. Like, Cloud9. So, okay, TSM, while they did play the lanes well, I believe it was an immense failure on the part of top and bottom lane in Cloud9.
Okay. Hold on, I'm gonna go to my page.
Kumo, both games this week, while winning in kills, possibly in lane, as he did day 1, got destroyed in CS. And I think that's what shone through the difference between somebody with experience and somebody who is very obviously one of the best top laners in the league, and someone who is definitely a rookie in Kumo, and
I can see
Licorice, of course, being the other side of that coin. Licorice, even when he gets camped and like loses kills, is the person who holds even in CS. Kumo, either whether he was getting the wins, it kills himself, or with the help of Blabber or Svenskeren, then lost the lane by 30 plus CS 2 games in a row. You can't do that. The kills don't matter if you're going to give over that much gold in CS.
And gold's really how you win this game. Because
Yeah.
you buy the items quicker, and you stomp them faster,
Yeah.
and then you get objectives better. It all funnels down to gold.
Yeah.
That's why CS is so important.
That's why you want CS. That's why you
Yeah.
want kills. That's why you want structure.
Turret
You want the
plates,
gold.
yeah.
That's all you want. And so, like, when it comes down to it, Kumo is a very good fighter.
Mm-hmm.
He's very good at it. But his laning is subpar.
So I think laning definitely comes with that experience that Licorice has.
Yeah.
Because I've played League of Legends and I am a freaking novice, but when I first started playing, it was like, I'm gonna fight that person, I wanna win. And then as I played longer and longer and longer, it's like, fuck, I missed that CS.
Yeah.
Like, you
No.
get that, like, it's a freaking little Casterman, you're like,
I curse when I'm
so-
playing AD carry and I miss like a cannon. I'm like, motherfucker, why did I miss that? I get so
my
mad.
cannon, yes.
75 gold, I needed you.
And as a rookie, I can make some fantastic, beautiful plays on my main champ that I like. And that Kumo does that. Like we were talking about the play at the Baron Pit where he kills
over the wall.
kills Smoothie after he jumps over the walls, getting whatever. It was beautiful. Any rookie can make a fantastic play. It takes a long time pro like Licorice to have that consistency.
It's funny because he's not even that long time of a
But
pro.
you said he was like season 4, season 3.
No, not like earlier we were talking about Sven Skaren. He's been around since season 3.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah,
But
Sven Skaren's
Licorice
been
has
around
probably
since
been
like
around
3.
longer, and we
Licorice has been
consider
around
him
like
great.
2 years now. It'll be 2
Why
years
is
at the
he
end of
so
this
good?
year. This is his 4th split.
He's like a freaking what are those? Savant.
Yeah,
in
he
the top
is.
lane.
He came in, was rookie of the split, and then next split was top lane.
Okay, well maybe it just takes a savant.
Yeah, no, he's super good.
Jesus.
He is a talent.
Yeah.
But
Okay, well, this
so,
Sven
like,
Skaren has the experience.
So
Definitely
Kumo
overcame.
lost the lane through CS. Sneaky and Zazel did not look good this weekend.
Well, so they lost top lane and they lost bottom lane, and it's a damn miracle that they pulled that win
It really
out of their
was.
asses.
Niski and Sven Skaren, like Niski not losing his lane was super important because if Bjergsen's Rumble got going really well, and there's also points to be made about how Bjergsen's Rumble, his ults were not great. It's obvious that he knows how to play the champion. He's all right at the champion, but he is not Hooning on Rumble. He is not a top laner who has played it for years and is really comfortable on it because Rumble's ult is so good if done correctly. And there was more than one fight where he either didn't do it well or didn't do it at all.
Or if it's not getting like near maximum effect on it, then
Yeah,
it's
but you don't even have to like you like it doesn't have to get all the damage. It can be used for zoning or something. Like you have options with the Rumble ult, and like I said, there were fights where like he threw it and it was like okay, and there's 1 or 2 fights where he didn't even get it out, and it's like
I was very surprised to see him even.
there's one near I don't know if Rift was still up, but it was that area of the map, and like he flashed and flamethrowed in, and the thing is you have the heat meter with Rumble. When that maxes out, you get silenced.
Ooh. That's
and
what
so
happened.
he
when
flashed
I
and
remember
flamethrowed
him
it in,
Yeah.
and so when your silence once maxed out, you're overheated, is what they say. Your autos do stupid amounts of damage when you do that.
Okay.
So you're supposed to get everything out, and with the flamethrower and auto people.
Okay.
So you're doing tons of damage. That's what you'll see somebody like Huni does, who has played it forever and is really really good at it. It's a pocket pick for him. And Bjergsen there, he did that, and he didn't know the exact number, or he just looked at it wrong, whatever. But yeah, he silenced himself when he went in, and he got almost completely killed before his silence ended. He Zonia'd before it ended, and then when he came out of it, he got CC chained to death. He wasn't able to get his ult out. He never got his ult off in that fight because of familiarity with the champ. I would never expect him to make a mistake like that with Syndra or Zillion. He knows those fucking champions.
That's true. Like I said, I was surprised to see him play it. I really was. It doesn't seem very Bjergsen-y.
Yeah, but I mean, Broken Blade did great in the top. Sven and Smoothie dominated the bottom lane. And then all of a sudden we got to mid-game. Like you said, TSM was looking so good. They were up, 7.8k at one point.
Yep, and they had like 4 dragons over none.
This was like at 21
4-0.
minutes, they were up like
4
7.
dragons, 0.
It was 7.8 at like 21 minutes. And like that's stupid. That's a lot of gold. You should probably win that game. But then the team fight started. And TSM proceeded to lose every single team fight. All of them. Like, honestly, if I watch that back, I could maybe find 2 that TSM won.
Well, it seemed like TSM, they expected to win, and so they were playing... They were playing as if they were over-geared for the fight. And so they made stupid mistakes, and they got caught out, and their line got picked apart, and they just got decimated. And it happened, I think, twice in a row, and Oh yeah, it was pretty gross.
C9 still won that game with less gold.
Yes, they did.
And that doesn't happen very often.
It does not.
No.
I've been watching that to see if it does.
I mean, there's a couple things that if I'm going to give credit to Cloud9, I already said like Niski not like just straight up losing mid lane, which he should have really hard because Rumble just pushes the wave in. Vladimir can't stop it. So he managed to not lose lane. Now his team fighting was all right. It was fine. It wasn't amazing. Like he got his ult off, which amps damage, and that was really important. And he did great ults.
I didn't see any like amazing flanks or anything else.
Yeah.
So.
Sneaky did end up getting enough gold where he did Sivir damage, and like he positioned well where he was getting all those ricochets out into the Vlad ulted players and just shredding the team. We saw that at that final Baron pit fight where he did all the work aside from the CC that Kumo was putting in. Kumo came in, got in CC, and Sneaky just said, everybody has a quarter health, get the final hits in. And that's basically what happened. But I think so much credit needs to go to Svenskeren.
Yeah. Definitely.
Like, we saw Blabber play Jarvan the day before, and there were so many ults where it was just like, it's not going to get you anything. Or, like, he went in and wasn't able to find anything, everybody got away. And constantly, Svenskeren was at the right place at the right time and getting on the right target over and over. It just even makes sense. Even in the bot lane, like that losing fight at tier 1, he gets in there, he gets an ult, which allows Kumo to get off a couple hits. He got 2 flashes and like a kill. And it was just like, oh, they should have had nothing out of this fight. But Svenskeren cleans something up. Then they go mid, and he like splits them all up, gets, and they get like 2 or 3 kills. And like constantly, Svenskeren was getting something and making those, like all those fights that they won. It was a lot of sneaky damage, but it was Svenskeren finding all the right initiations, and it just blew my mind how consistently amazing they were.
Yeah.
Like, right now, I feel like he's MVP of the split the same way Core JJ was last split. Because every time Core JJ did something last split, he got them kills. He got them objectives. He got them something. And that's Svenskeren right now for Cloud9. And you really notice it after Blabber plays the game.
Yeah.
And Svenskeren comes in the next game, and you're like, oh god, yeah, they are so much better right now. What just happened? Well, they switched
Who played the first game? Was it Svenskeren or Blabber?
Blabber played day 1, Sven played
That's
day
what it
2.
is. Yeah. I mean, Blabber's good, but he's not Svenskeren.
No, I think... here we go, tinfoil hat chase. Tinfoil hat is that Reaper wants to get an MVP on his team, so he's intentionally playing Blabber more games than he would otherwise, so Svenskeren looks even better. There we go.
I'm okay with it.
That's my conspiracy theory. I don't actually believe it, but
Well,
if it's true, it's working.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, I love, it was like 2 weeks ago that the LCS staff was like, oh, we want to throw up a stat sheet of like everything that Svenskeren's leading in. And it had to be 2 pages.
That's so funny. I missed that. I want to see that.
Oh, yeah. Like, they showed it. They're like, all right, here's all the stats he's leading. It was like KDA, this, like 4%, blah, blah, blah. They're like, and also these. And there's like, so there's like 9 total stats. He was like top 2 in.
If it was on like the beginning of the show, then I usually miss that.
It was right before a match. But yeah. It was really, like, ridiculous.
Sometimes I'm doing dishes or something. I don't know. But I want to watch that now. That's pretty fun.
Oh, man. So, I don't know. Otherwise, though, in that game, I mean, I've got to give TSM a lot of credit for getting the leads they did. And granted, they didn't pick, like, a team fight comp, which showed. But if you're going to be a good team, if you're going to challenge, not even for the championship, if you're going to challenge for a playoff bye, a top 2 spot, top 3 overall, which we all thought they were.
Well, they
and
still
I still kind of feel like they are.
are.
They're tied for 3rd right now.
Oh.
But you should be winning a game where you're up 7.8, right? You should
CLG?
win that.
Yeah, they should. Ooh.
You should win a game you're up 7.8.
Yeah.
I just, and actually, I think CLG then lost a 7.8 lead the next day against Golden Guardians.
That was funny too.
Or the same day? Same day. Yeah, it was later the same day. 2 teams like lost a 7.8K goal lead. Yeah. But I mean,
it was Sunday because that was the day of comebacks, is what I remember.
Yeah. I don't know, TSM, like, they looked really good early, they won the lanes. Yeah. But you gotta be able to close that out. You gotta be smart enough as a team to use that advantage properly, and I feel like they didn't, and that worries me for them.
That's very worrisome. I still think they're top 3. I think CLG will either drop a game over them or something.
I definitely think they're going to bounce back. I don't think they're going to fall too far, but they definitely have to get their act together. Because, I mean, CLG, they weren't looking too hot last split, and they're tied for number 3 right now.
That's crazy.
And so, like, I mean, Golden Guardians, they're just a game behind. Granted, they haven't looked as good as is OpTic, yes. Like, they're just a game behind. And so it's like TSM they can't really like kind of ride the TSM wagon that they've like made for themselves for like the last 10 years. Like,
except that one season they did garbage the whole time.
Was that pre-me?
No, you were there for that.
Oh.
Remember when it was last year.
Oh.
They missed Worlds because of it. They're fairly hot garbage. But by TSM standards, they were hot garbage, I should say.
That's funny.
But yeah, like I feel like they're still trying to ride the TSM bandwagon that they've created. They do the same thing. I mean, they're really good at playing their version of the meta, and other teams have made a point we can counter that now.
Yeah.
And so TSM, they definitely need to adapt a little bit more.
Actually, so quick question. Earlier, when I said there was a player I kind of blamed for a loss, you jumped to Acadian. Where I mean, obviously you were talking about this game. If you're talking about a loss, did you really feel he underperformed this game?
No, he made a couple goofy mistakes. That Rift being one of them.
What? Remind me, because I was talking to him about it, and I was like, I know there was a play somewhere in that game where I was like, Acadian.
So he was at Rift. He was about to get it. He only had about 200-300 health left though when he saw Sven Skaren show up, so he had to bug out. Because it was like a almost full...
Am I thinking of the wrong game then? I'm pretty sure that...
No, he didn't piece the fuck out. He just left, so he didn't die. Because Sven Skaren...
Well, there was a game where Acadian dropped the Rift Herald, but he got CC'd.
Oh, that was it.
And so he lost the token.
He lost the Rift.
Oh.
That was the game.
Yeah. So I guess they scared him off of it and they left.
No.
It was against Cloud. No, yeah, it was that game.
Yeah.
Sure. I thought they scared him off of it. Maybe it was a different game that somebody got scared off of it. But yeah, you're right. So he was doing it, and then Kumo. I mean, granted, it was like 3 people mid, and so you wouldn't think anybody did anything. And yeah, Kumo came forward with the Aatrox and hit him with the first Q.
Yeah.
So yeah, he broke the Rift Herald. He did.
Like that's like jungling 101. Don't drop the Rift Herald where you can get fucked on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, nobody ever drops it that far forward. Usually you just drop in river, and if you want it to be that close to turret, you just face the wall, and then you'll drop it over the wall.
Over the wall,
yeah. But even then, he would have... Well, as long
as
you
wouldn't have been able to get hit.
You can see the icon, but
yeah.
it's still harder to see him because he's further away.
Okay. But still, that's what I was thinking of.
That's yeah, no, you're
Acadian
right.
did a like,
I forgot about that.
So I just watched it today, so it's...
Same.
Thank you. I appreciate
No, I watched it yesterday, actually.
Yeah.
But I think that's the one, like, big mistake he made. I think overall he just got outplayed by Sven Skaren. And it made him look bad because his whole team couldn't keep up with the opposing jungler. I don't think he looked bad that game. He made, one big mistake. He made one mistake, but is it that big of a mistake that you didn't get a Rift Herald charge? It doesn't make you win 8 out of 9 team fights.
It did not probably change the outcome of this game. I'll say that. But he is a fucking pro player that has Rift issues already.
Oh yeah, that's
and then
because he was the one when they just left it, nobody picked it up.
Acadian, I still like you, Acadian, man. I don't know why. You're cool, like as a person. I think. Please don't.
I want Jeff to jungle so that he can make these Rift Herald mistakes, and then I can tell him he's as good as Acadian.
Who was the person that you were talking about earlier, though? To go back to that, sorry.
The person I was talking about. Let's finish anything about TSM Cloud9, and then I'll move on and tell you.
That was a big mistake, so I wanted to call it out. And I thought that maybe that might have been... Because you're right, it probably did not lose them that game, but it definitely did not help them.
Right, no, for sure.
Oh, he had to have been, upset after that, I think. Right?
Every time it's happened to me, I always hate my life. I'm like, well, better go FML, kill myself now.
So, the player I was talking about is on the team that's actually tied with TSM for 3rd.
Ooh,
CLG. Oh, in the game against Golden Guardians, I feel like one player did pretty darn well early, and then fell the fuck off and made a lot of just what the hell, why are you there moments.
I'm gonna say Wiggly?
No, I'm not gonna say Wiggly. I'm gonna say Ruin.
No. Biofrost.
Oh, Biofrost. Okay.
Biofrost straight up face checked a brush in river. Like, among other things.
Yeah.
But, he knew somebody was, there had literally been an interaction, and he walked straight in the brush and got fucking dumpstered. Wiggly goes in to try and save it, or like make something of it, whatever, like all this. But like there was mistakes like that coming from Bio. Later on in the game, he had started so well.
Yeah, he did.
Like his Thresh was really good early.
Yeah.
And then as the game proceeded, like Thresh used to be tankier, but like he's a pro. He knows how tanky Thresh is and has been for like a year and a half. And he just like didn't respect the fact that they could blow him up if he got CC'd. And he just walked into shit. He didn't respect any of that, and it blew my mind because his CLG Golden Guardians, they're one game apart. CLG has looked better over the past couple weeks than them.
Yeah, but I would say that's definitely not Biofrost. Except for a couple, like when he played Yuumi and stuff.
Right, yeah. Like, I mean, but I just mean, like, that team should win, and then you're doing shit like that.
I agree.
If you're supposed to win a game, you can't do shit like that if you don't want to give the other team a chance.
Because they had CLG aced. Let's put this into context at 22 minutes. CLG aces GG's. They only lose 2. They're 15-5 and up 7K. I wrote all that down right there. This entire page is basically CLG does something, CLG does something, CLG does something. And then the next 2 things I write for notes are CLG misplays. CLG misplays again. So they started throwing or something.
They did. Well, and they, much like TSM, had, I believe, about a 7.8 gold lead.
Yeah.
7.8K. Like, did you write for the TSM ones? Did you put they misplay, or did you put that Cloud9?
I was putting Cloud9 is catching up, stuff like that.
Okay, because I feel like that was the case in the Cloud9 TSM. Yeah. It was Cloud9 were like getting these fights and these picks and whatever, and they were just wrecking every team fight. And I agree. Like, I feel like CLG, and just last week, I had said, "Hey, Jeff was right. These guys are actually pretty good." Now, whether I think they're top 4 at least, or top 3 at least, or whatever he had said, I'm like, I'm not set on that. They're a playoff team. And this is the kind of reason why. Now, I think they played below themselves this week.
Yeah.
I think they're better than this. I think they're closer to what Jeff thinks of them than what they showed up with in this O2.
Only for one game, because they played against TL. And
they were close against TL, but I don't think TL was playing their best game either.
No, but I think TL had the upper hand that entire game.
Yeah.
So,
and TL wasn't playing their best game, and they had the upper hand, and that's why I'm like, like if they're not playing their best game, you should probably have the upper hand a couple times. Yes. And I just never felt that way about CLG. And then Golden Guardians, like, they had the lead early, and then just were like, you know what we should do? Not close this out. How should we do it though? The most painful and sad manner possible. Nice.
How do you feel about that game, Chase?
For which side?
Either.
Well, he's happy because his boys won.
Yeah. No, I'm definitely pretty excited that
from the other perspective, how do you feel about the game, though, I guess? Because, like, I was kind of watching from CLG as, like, being the team who has been doing better perspective, and I felt like they did really well. I mean, they just, like, made mistake after mistake. And so maybe you see it more like how I saw the Cloud9 game, where, like, Golden Guardians was just, like, making the right plays. Or did you see it as CLG, like, fucking up and them taking everything they could off of each fuck-up?
Yeah, I don't think Golden Guardians looked especially great that game. I think that they did classic Team Liquid, and they let the other team make a mistake, and they just punished them real hard. And they did it 2-3 times in a row, and it was enough to close out the game.
4, 5, 7 times in a row.
It was all the times in the row.
It was like for like 10 minutes. CLG's like, what's all the bad decisions we get? No, and I agree though. Golden Guardians played it right. I think Hanser played very well that game. Contracts was getting all the right picks. Like, when shit was going real bad, when they were getting pushed towards their tier 2, all of a sudden Contracts was, like, flying in and, like, picking off a prime target. He's like, I may go down, but I'm gonna kill this motherfucker, and the rest of you do something.
Yeah.
And then they did. And, like, it worked out. But
I was happy to see, like, the Lysandra. I liked that match because it brought back Lee Sin and Lysandra. Yeah. I like Lee Sin.
I was glad to see Golden Guardians kind of stabilize this week. I know they went 1-1 last week, but that was a win over Echo Fox, lost to OpTic. This week it was lost to FlyQuest, who's looked a little bit better over the last 2 weeks, and a win over CLG. So, like, I feel like they've stabilized after they had lost to CLG, TL, TSM right in a row.
Well, so the CLG game to me was really important that they won that one. That means that they don't have the the 2-0.
Right,
so if
yeah.
it does come down to
head to head, yeah. You never want to give up a full head to head unless it's like somebody who's like 3 slots ahead of you.
Yeah, no, them being able to take that win makes it so if playoffs contention is there, they don't automatically lose if that's what it comes down to.
Exactly.
I'd rather go to a best of 5 to determine, or a best of 3 or whatever.
They have to make sure they grab that OpTic win in 2 weeks for that same reason too.
Exactly.
So, all right, we've kind of covered most of the teams overall. Fun fact, though, I noticed it earlier. I didn't get it out there. There are only 3 teams who have not had a O2 weekend. There had been 4. CLG finally had their first O2 weekend this week. Cloud9, TSM.
It's not surprising.
The only ones who have managed... Now, Cloud9 has lost 2 games back-to-back. So the only teams who haven't lost 2 games back-to-back are TL and TSM. Which is even more surprising because it's like first and third. But, yeah, like... I think that speaks to something that you can manage to always get a win. Now, granted, schedule helps with that a little bit too. But most of these teams have lost games that, like... I mean, TL's losses are to CLG and Fox. TSM has TL, Cloud9, CLG, OpTic, and FlyQuest, back when FlyQuest hadn't won like shit. They were the 1 win FlyQuest had in the first 4 weeks. That's what that was. Yeah, and like Cloud9, okay, TSM.
Well, it is worth mentioning that this was the first
Fox.
week on that new patch too. So
that happens every 2 weeks.
I know, but there was a new champion that showed up.
Yep.
And we did see her play mid.
We saw Kiana a couple times, and we saw her played sometimes good, sometimes bad. Clutch didn't look great on her against TSM, and we saw her look really good. Clutch playing her again against OpTic.
That is fucking funny as shit. She was picked in the first game and the last game.
Was that the only 2 though?
She lost
I thought
the
she
first
played
game
another
and
one.
I'm not seeing it, but
Maybe no, it might have just been those 2.
But she won the second one, lost the first.
Yeah.
So
That's fun.
She was 11-0 globally.
Yeah.
Before Clutch lost on day 1 against TSM.
It's so funny when they're talking about that.
And so she was 11-1, and then so Clutch was like, "Okay, we have to redeem our fuck up."
Leave
And
it to NA.
Yeah.
I wanted to bring up the Golden Guardians FlyQuest game, day 1.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
FlyQuest pulled out a Sona, Jarvan bot lane.
Oh God!
Oh,
yeah.
that's the one I was like.
I somehow skipped over talking about it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Corki in the mid, Rek'Sai jungle, and Riven in the top.
I marked them on the sheet here because it was so weird. I had to mark where they were.
Like, if it weren't for the Riven just fucking on everyone,
It's Viper, though.
Viper looked so good on that Riven.
He had out of the 4 times he's played it, he's just crushed 3 times.
I think if the Riven wasn't in that game, it could have gone very differently. But Riven definitely was a game changer for FlyQuest.
Yeah.
The thing I definitely want to give FlyQuest credit for, though, in this match, with that, specifically with that bot lane. So we saw it was the Sona Taric, right? And it was all about the double heal.
Yeah.
And then we saw it switch to, because you're banning, Taric or whatever. Then it became Sona Kench. It's like, oh, well, you've got a tank who has CC, that's fine. And Sona provides enough heals on her own. This is another evolution beyond that. Sona plus tank with CC. He actually has more damage. I'm interested to see if this continues.
Oh, me too. That's beautiful.
If you can find something to throw in the bot lane that's kind of tank, what Sona Sejuani. Can you do stuff like that? Because that'd be really interesting. If it could just be Sona plus tank bot lane, that's interesting. Because it's very similar to doing, support plus marksman, bot lane. It's just more specific.
Yeah.
And I could get behind that. If it starts being just, hey, as long as this, whoever you're with, Sona Swain, Sona, what's it, Mordekaiser, because he just got reworked and he has a CC now,
What did on
Sona Pike. I want to see that. Pike's not tanky, but he brings damage. So it's okay, I want to see this shit.
You burst him enough that he can just ult, you're gonna,
Yeah, I don't know that the Sona Jarvan looked very good, but I like the concept, and I want to see if they or other teams run with it even better. We moved from the Taric to the Kench, fuck it.
I put what the fuck.
Yeah, for real though. It was
they did really good bot lane in terms of CS. They held their own. They were only 5 to 6 to maybe max 10 down.
Yeah,
and that's really good for that kind of setup for that combo.
Yeah, And the idea, I think, part of the reason you've gone generally Sona plus tank is because then she can heal the tank and the tank can soak up the damage. I mean, what if you just go like full Asso mode, like Sona Yumi? Fuck it, let's go.
You'd have to run
all
an
the
AD in
heals, and they're pokey as shit.
Sounds terrible. It also sounds really squishy if you get caught out.
Oh, it's insanely squishy. Insanely squishy, but we've also seen Yumi mostly dominate. If Yumi gets ahead, even if Yumi's on a team that's ahead, it doesn't matter if she's ahead, because we saw Cloud9 lose to that. Like, a Yumi who wasn't really ahead, but the team was ahead, is like, well, you're fucked. Like, I think that, like, I just want to see if this goes somewhere. I'd be really interested to see if it just becomes Sona.
At first I was mad about it. Like, I was like, what? And then I thought about it, and then they played it, and I was just really impressed, and it was a lot of fun. So I concur.
I don't think the lane was great, but I like the idea, and I'm excited to see more.
Well, because it's all about that team game. Like, that's a real good setup. I want to even give them commend. I think I maybe mentioned it in the Discord. The J4 and Rek'Sai combo. Normally that's like a counter if they're up against each other jungle. So why not just?
So if you just get them both on your team,
just.
Good point.
Can't counter me if I'm the only one that can counter
me.
Well,
like you cataclysm somebody. Like if it was old Rek'Sai, current Rek'Sai, you can only get a pop up one person. If it was old Rek'Sai, can you imagine cataclysm and the AoE pop up? Oh. It's just like, oh, you're all stuck. Oh, you're all up in the air. You're all dead.
All right. They'd have to run like an AD in mid though. If they do like a
if you're running
Yumi.
Yeah, if you're running a double AP bot, then you're running an AD mid top.
And then quick question,
you're running 2 AD. But yeah.
If you have a Zed and a Zed ult someone and the Yumi's on the Zed,
Corki's technically
he would follow him all around.
Really?
Yumi would. Yeah, I was playing Kai'Sa and Aram the other night and I had a Yumi on me. And granted, it's a dash.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely took a Yumi in with me between first and second turret to get some kills. Nice. And I'm like, sorry! Because like I altered, I was like, oh shit, she doesn't like snap away. She's not like, an Orianna ball or something where it's like, oh, once you get a distance, they leave. No, bitch flies with you. It doesn't matter.
I want to see that on a Zed.
So I took her super deep.
Anyway, sorry. What were you about to say?
So they did have the Corki. The Corki is technically AD. So I mean, he was a good complement to that build.
He's AD, but he does half magic damage with his autos, and we're seeing people build double AD items because they're like, well, the scalings are better with AD, and it helps your auto attacks.
Yeah.
So that's where he's weird. But yeah.
No, I was saying like I think that's why that build worked or that comp worked a little bit better.
Sona and everything.
Yeah. Well, wait. Honestly, though, I have to say it's because they have the Jarvan Rek'Sai Riven. Like, that's a lot of attack damage. Or physical damage, I should say. If you were running a, like, Corki, like, granted, it's split, but if you're running a full AP mid laner, and then an AP down in the bot or top, I'm just going to stack MR.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to build a Banshee's Veil for UCC.
No,
in that comp you can't, because there's 2.5, because Jarvan's going to be underfed.
Yeah.
You're going to have 2.5 physical damage threats with the Rek'Sai and the Riven.
Oh, sorry, I was thinking, like, they should build AD defensively, but they didn't. They didn't enough anyways.
Yeah, so, well, yeah. I mean, you got to build spread out defense there, because Sona is going to do good damage. And
Fly really did very well that game. It was over pretty quick. I had nothing but, like, good stuff on this favor about them.
Yeah. All right,
sorry,
well,
I know it was against you.
Let's, one more thing before we close it out. Let's talk playoff predictions. We've got 3 weeks left to go.
That was mine. Never mind.
And so at this point, who's in, who's out, and then who's the bubble teams? We'll give, everybody gets 3. You get 3 bubble teams. But you also have to predict who you think's actually in and out of those bubble teams.
So we have to do 1 through 10?
Yeah, basically. I mean, it's just top 6 versus bottom 4. So I think we're all going to say TL, Cloud9, make it in, for sure.
Yeah.
TSM going to make it in, everyone?
Yeah. There's no way
There's no way they drop it. They'd have to lose every single game.
Okay, so 3 in. Echo Fox out, right?
Echo Fox out.
FlyQuest out?
FlyQuest.
I don't know.
I'll leave them. Okay, so we've got 4 teams here. We've already decided. So there's 6 teams left. 3 playoff spots for those 6 teams.
Well, I'm gonna put CLG in one of them because they would have to lose every single game, even if
they don't have to lose every single game. That is not true.
Well, I'm saying like roughly, right? They'd have to lose like 5.
No, there are 6 games left.
Yeah.
And they are only, let's see, they're at 7th, and the first team that's not in playoffs right now has 5 wins. There are only 2 games ahead of the first team not in playoffs. Yeah.
Okay.
No.
I'm still going to give them a playoff spot, though, just because of how they've been playing overall. they've definitely dropped that last game, but.
So I'm gonna go out and be a Chase and say that 100 Thieves is out. I'm not even giving them a bubble team. I'm saying they're out.
You're not even giving them bubble.
Nope, they're out.
So I'm gonna say FlyQuest and Clutch are out. I'm leaving 100 Thieves as my bubble.
I think that.
Wait, hold on, Heather. What do you got?
Oh, I don't know. I'm gonna put 100 Thieves 7th now.
Okay, so they're a bubble team for you. You're not sure if they're gonna make it in or not.
Well, no, I don't think they're gonna make it in.
Okay, so
I just think they're gonna.
You
get
think for
straight
sure
second.
they're not gonna make it?
Yeah.
Okay, so they're not. So you have no bubble teams then. If you think for sure the 7th place isn't making it.
No, but can I have 2 people at 7th?
Yeah, I mean tied for 7th.
Yeah.
Like going down. Yeah.
Sweet. That's what
Okay.
I'm
So yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Because I'm gonna put like.
I've got
FlyQuest
100
right
as a
there.
bubble because if OpTic or Golden Guardians doesn't pull their shit together, I think they're both in danger. Those are my 3 bubbles. I have OpTic and Golden Guardians in.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you have OpTic in? Ooh, I don't know
Barely.
about that.
I have 100 Thieves almost above them.
Wow, really?
If you don't have OpTic in, who are you putting in?
I'm figuring that out right now. That's what I'm worried about. Like, I don't know. Because I
But
don't
yeah.
want to say Clutch. I really don't want to say Clutch.
I'm gonna say
but-
I'm gonna say it's TL, Cloud9, TSM, CLG make it.
Mm-hmm.
I think Golden Guardians and probably OpTic, but maybe 100 Thieves make it. I think Golden Guardians is pretty likely. They're a bubble team, but only barely for me.
Okay, so I've got Liquid, Cloud9, TSM, CLG, Golden Guardians, and OpTic.
You just have the current standings.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, shit.
It's hard. It's so hard.
It is.
Because you don't want to put people down there. and
Well,
it's
so
close.
I think
And
that
the thing is that all the standings are super close. It's one game between every single level. Now the thing is, TL has first alone, Cloud9 has first alone, then you have a tie and a tie. Like that's the thing. Is that it's that tie for 3rd, tie for 5th, tie for 7th that makes things interesting.
why it's gonna be-
You have 6 teams over the course of 3 games.
Yeah. Who are they playing next, anyways?
Or with a 2-game separation is the better way to say. Jeff's got Cloud9, TSM, TL, CLG, OpTic. You're missing a team there, buddy. 6 make playoffs. I assume you're probably going Golden Guardians if you're putting OpTic in, but maybe you don't believe in them.
I don't think I want to put OpTic in. I really don't.
I was gonna use OpTic and Clutch and FlyQuest as my 3 bubble teams.
There we go.
OpTic, Clutch, FlyQuest, you say?
Yeah.
Okay. You definitely do the 100 Thieves one out of spite at this point.
Fuck 100 Thieves.
That is a yes. It is out of spite.
And they're
Like-
bad
like-
and terrible and garbage.
Like, granted, Clutch and FlyQuest looked pretty alright this week, but 100 Thieves looked better.
I
This
mean,
is
if
going to
they
be
were
my
good, they wouldn't
tiebreaker.
have to steal.
Actually, here I'm calling this now. It's going to be TLC9, TSM, CLG, GG's, and there's going to be a tiebreaker between
putting
CG and
Clutch.
100 Thieves in there, and CG. will
Okay,
win.
so you do. So you do have a bubble then.
I don't know what a bubble means.
Bubble
all right,
means
I
you're
didn't
not
want to admit
sure
that.
who's actually making it.
Okay, yeah.
That's why when you're like 100's definitely 7th, I'm like, oh, or you're like,
But I'm
100 is
notating
7th.
that 100 Thieves doesn't make it.
I know, but bubble means you're not sure.
Okay, so that means they just have
If
to, like,
you're
play
if
off
you are
bubble.
sure, if you're like, no, they
Okay, then.
absolutely
I
don't
do
make
have a
it.
bubble.
Okay,
I
yeah.
have a bubble, but I think 100 Thieves is going to
Yeah, you had them as 7th. I'm like, oh, they're your bubble. You're like, no, they're 7th. I'm like,
Yeah,
for
okay,
sure 7th. And you're like, yeah. I'm like, okay,
Well,
then no bubble.
I mean, like, it could go either way when it gets to that point, but...
Yeah, so it's
we'll
a bubble
see, we'll
team.
see. All right.
You're good. They're on the bubble.
So I get a leeway, is basically what you're saying.
Yeah,
Awesome.
they're on the bubble. You just don't know which way they're gonna slide off the bubble.
All right. Was this like Jurassic Park with the fucking...
What? No,
Hands.
it's a sports thing that's been
Okay.
around forever. You hear it the most with March Madness. Bubble
Okay.
teams of whether or not they'll make it into the
That makes
tournament.
sense. It's probably something I would, for like competitions, you hear more often.
Everything makes me
Okay.
sad right now. I'm looking
Right?
at like the outgoing. I'm like, Golden Guardians have TSM, TL next week. That's
And
not looking too great.
then 100 OpTic.
That's pretty probable.
It depends on how 100 and OpTic are looking, because both those teams have looked better or worse than Golden Guardians recently.
And then Cloud9, Clutch.
Which is
like,
better and looking about the same as them recently.
I'm seeing like 500 at best going
Like,
on
if
their way
Golden
out.
Guardians is going to make playoffs, they have to prove it over these next 3 weeks. Like, these next 3 weeks, if they make playoffs, they earned that shit.
Yes.
If they don't make playoffs, they threw it away. Their destiny is in their hands because there's 3 teams on there who are challenging them for playoff spot.
That's ridiculous that they have TSM.
So beat those teams. If you beat those fucking teams, you earn it. Now, the other 3, that just sucks that you have to face them yet. But you probably also shouldn't have lost to FlyQuest and then OpTic over the last 2 weeks if you wanted that spot, right?
Do you want me to write your twos down or not?
Oh, no, that was just... This is for fun.
Okay, cool.
No, this is very serious.
All right,
It's super serious.
so final thing then. Oh, wait, I don't know who my last one's are. I want to bet... I believe... Ooh! Jeff believes 100 Thieves is going to make 6th. Ooh, here's a fun thing, because Jeff talked about it, and you and I talked about it before the show.
How he's wrong?
He said Moo has been playing a lot better since midway through the split. Now, we talked about this pre-show. I think, and actually I talked about it a little bit like 2 weeks ago. I think Amazing on this team, he's making engagement plays. He's making good engagement plays most of the time. And Aframu is finally, like, he used to be great at engaging. Like, we saw him do, like, fucking 3 to 5 man Alistair, headbutt pulverizes. We've seen him do amazing recon engages. We've seen all this shit. He can do that. Not anymore. Not this split, for sure. And early this split, he was trying to do that shit and getting destroyed.
Yeah.
Now Amazing came into the team, and he's letting the jungler do it. And he's getting pretty good engages most of the time. And Aframu, it's funny, because you'll still see him, like, go in, and I'd say half the time, he, like, gets basically nothing. Like, maybe a person CC'd that nobody's able to follow up on, and he barely gets his ass out with almost no fucking health. Like, he doesn't contribute almost anything to the engage, or he'll, like, try on his own, and sometimes he still does die, or he still just gets the fuck out by the hair of his, hair of his chin.
Sliver.
But I think the biggest difference is Amazing doing the CC for that team, allowing Aframu to chill the fuck out and play around Bang, which makes Bang even better.
Yeah.
I think that's it. I don't think it's that Aframu is playing better. I think he's playing less bad, if you get what I'm saying.
Well, yeah.
Like, he's not going, I got this, when
definitely
it's
the way
not
to
going to
say it,
happen.
yeah.
And instead he's like, I'm going to do the thing I can. You got this. Like,
That's funny, though.
Yeah, rather
Less
than
bad.
making more good plays, he's making less bad plays, basically.
I agree.
And I'm okay with that.
No,
He
it
doesn't
makes
even
me
wanna talk
sad. I
about it.
want Moo to just keep sucking. The more Moo does terrible, the more happy I am.
He's built on the suffering of others.
I am. Like, it really pleases me when he is very distraught.
He's just straight up about it. Shit, this is funny.
Chase is full of hate and spite.
I never even looked.
If Chase was an anime character and you, like, killed him, Black Ichor would, like, flow out of his veins. It'd be like it'd be like an inky tentacle monster that just like shakes it.
Oh yeah. It's like straight up Sailor Moon or even like Power Ranger.
Every anime, period. Yeah.
I'm okay with this.
It actually happens.
Jeez, remind me not to take my problems to Chase.
Yeah. Your problems suck.
Alright, so quick hit next week. Pull up the schedule. Game of the week, Bubble Wrap Midget Wrestling Match.
Let's see, schedule for next week.
I think Bubble Wrap Midget Wrestling Match is going to be, oh god, I don't know. Fox Clutch? I'm thinking, like, it's hard to say because honestly, I think the bottom of the table is less
I'm gonna
abysmal
say
than usual.
Thieves, FlyQuest, Bubble Wrap Midget.
I'm gonna say Fox Clutch Gaming.
It's one of those two, but I think it's Fox
We
Clutch.
have 2 Bubble Wrap Midget wrestling matches.
I'm gonna go with Fox Clutch just because literally Fox is one step below FlyQuest and Clutch is one step below 100 Thieves.
Just let me hate on them.
I know you love to hate them, but fuck you. Alright, so match of the week though.
Match of the week: Guardians versus TSM or Guardians versus Liquid. Sorry.
No, I mean, you're not wrong. Those are probably the matches of the week. Who does OpTic Fate and... Oh no, CLG Cloud9's in there.
This is going to be the match of the week for sure. CLG Cloud9.
CLG Cloud9.
I mean, this will really prove if CLG is like...
I'm gonna say 100 Thieves got
No, I think you're right. It's 100... It's CLG Cloud9 because CLG, after having their first 2 a week, having TL in there, TL Golden Guardians, they lost 2. They get to play FlyQuest to start their week. But if they lose that, they are going to be hard up for a win. Because if you go 0-4 at this point in the season,
basically out.
Yeah, you're treading the line. I mean, even if, say, Golden Guardians and OpTic both go 1-1, okay, great. At that point, you're tied for the last playoff spot, 4, 5, 6. Like, you're just not looking great going forward. Now, CLG has a fairly decent schedule out after that. They have Clutch, Fox, OpTic, 100 Thieves to close out. So they always have the chance to pull themselves back up. But if you can win, if you can go at least 1-1, if you can win against Cloud9, you're putting yourself in a position to be locked in pre-week 9. And that's very important. If week 9, you're just like thinking about who you have to play in quarterfinals, if you can rest anyone who's feeling a little worn out, if you can try out some weird-ass strategies or play an academy player you might want to have with you in playoffs because you get 7 players, yeah, do it. But if you go 0-4 week 6 and 7, you're probably not going to get that luxury.
101, I've done this.
Damn.
Well, who am I picking for the bubble wrap midget? Probably CG.
No, yeah.
So what, are we decided on game of the week being CLG C9?
Yeah.
Or could it possibly be Fox versus OpTic?
Fox OpTic? No, it's not Fox OpTic. Why would the game of the week involve the last place team?
Yeah, because I think Fox is gonna win.
It doesn't make it the game of the week.
It's gonna be the most interesting game.
Okay, there you go. Heather's special pick of the week is Fox versus OpTic.
I like it. I want OpTic to win. You keep your Fox away.
Maybe. We'll see.
Alright, quick rundown predictions. Cloud9 100 Thieves, Cloud9.
Cloud9.
TSM Golden Guardians,
I'm
TSM.
gonna lean into Guardians on this one.
Okay.
Obviously.
FlyQuest CLG.
CLG.
Yeah. TL, Clutch, TL.
TL.
Fox OpTic.
I'm hoping OpTic. I'm leaning into OpTic.
I'm leaning into OpTic.
I honestly don't know. Probably OpTic has the better record, but shit.
Like this,
the things
it's
they
harder to pick this match than it should be based on their current standings.
And with what happened this week with Fox beating.
Well, that's what
whatever team they
that's what makes it harder.
Yeah.
Is that OpTic won 0-2 and then Fox got a win over the Guardians. So okay, day 2, Golden Guardians TL.
Which IP do you want? IPA do you want for your last?
Whichever
game?
one you don't. Cloud9 CLG.
I'm going
C9 CLG. Yeah, I'm gonna C9.
I'm gonna lean into Cloud9 on that one as well.
OpTic TSM.
TSM.
If OpTic like fucking blows away Fox though day 1 and TSM looks shaky against Golden Guardians, I might have difficulty. But yeah, TSM as of now. Clutch Fox.
Going into Clutch. Like, I mean, this one is gonna be interesting, but I think Clutch.
I feel like Fox has solo looking good. Now, if Mike Young looks good on day 1 against OpTic, that'll be interesting because Meteos is a good jungle opponent, and I think honestly Lyra's not that great. While he looked good against Meteos' most recent game, I think that had a lot more to do with the whole team of OpTic just playing it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we'll see. I think Clutch versus Fox is like, okay, I like Fox's jungler maybe. I like Fox's top laner a lot, but Clutch as a team has been like pretty okay the last couple weeks.
Yeah.
All right, and then finally 100 Thieves FlyQuest.
FlyQuest.
100 Thieves.
I think right now I'm gonna say 100 Thieves. What they face 100 Thieves plays Cloud9 and FlyQuest plays CLG. That'll give me a good barometer, I think, for day 2.
Yeah. See, I wish
FlyQuest
this
could
game
play
was
their
on day 2.
academy team, and I'm still picking FlyQuest.
Well, yeah, you already told yourself you're not allowed to pick anything else, so nobody cares what your opinion is.
I care.
Do you, though?
A little bit.
I think very highly of myself.
Alright, that's gonna do it, though, for episode 22 of League of Vloggers.
23.
23.
Jesus Christ.
Counting's difficult.
X plus 1 equals X.
Plus 1. X plus 1 equals Y?
No.
Algebra's difficult for Chase. Alright, that's gonna do it for us, though, here. Everybody have a good night, and we will see you next Monday.
Cheers.
See ya.
I'll be here
Cheers.
that Monday.
Cheers.
I don't have any more water. It's okay. Well, actually, I have a little bit.